Hi everyone, Aiden here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Yakima EXO swing-away storage system on our 2016 Chevrolet Suburban. This is going to be a combination of their basket attachment and the enclosed box attachment on top, all packed into a nice kit, all keyed alike and ready to go for all your cargo. With your Suburban, you do have a 1,000-pound tongue weight capacity, which is going to be perfect for this kit. Let's check it out. That weight capacity is going to come in handy because this whole system, just as you see it right now with everything unloaded, is already going to be 151 pounds. Not to mention the fact that the rack on the bottom can hold up to 110 pounds or 80 pounds if you mount it up top. And then the box up here on top can hold up to 80 pounds or 100 pounds on the bottom. That being said, you can switch these around if you want to, but in this current configuration, it's going to give you just a little bit more weight capacity because that basket on the bottom can hold more than the box could. I like this configuration a lot too because this bottom piece is great for any sort of messy cargo. Maybe we've got some wet stuff from the beach or any sort of sports equipment, things that are just messy. Because of the open design, any water or moisture is going to drain out and not drip onto the box. Then the locked covered storage is up top, where it's going to be maybe holding some of our lighter items, maybe duffel bags, clothes, some light camping gear, things like that that are a bit smaller and we want to keep locked up and secure. Like the name suggests, this is a swing-away storage system. So coming to the bottom near the hitch, we've got this very large hand knob that I can loosen up, and eventually it will release the swing-away arm right there. Pull this pin and push it all away. And then it'll lock out at this 90-degree angle with this pin right here. That's the pin we pull to release it and put it back in. But from here, it gives us full access to our hatch, and we still do have a little bit of room to spare with the hatch. It definitely comes close to the box here with about an inch of space, but overall it's not too bad, and we still retain that full function of the vehicle. So we can have the back fully loaded up with stuff, and if we need the extra space, especially for some of those messier items with the basket, we have it out here, and we don't have to resort to putting a roof box on top, adding height and drag to the vehicle, while also being hard to reach and load up. Everything's down here and pretty easy to get to. If you need some extra room, maybe we're at the campsite and we're leaving this all set up in the extended position, you can undo the threaded hand knob that goes in that hole and the locking pin that goes in the center hole to pivot this whole top shelf around. So this gives us easy access to the basket underneath, or maybe if we had the box on the bottom shelf, it would allow us to open it. I like this on the top though, because no matter whether it's like this or in the driving position, we can still always open up the box. But now we have easier access to the basket on the other side, so if we have some gear that we need to get to and we want to leave this set up, we can. The one thing I will say is that with it set up in the swing-away position right now, if you plan on leaving it there for a long period of time, just use the included kickstand to provide some extra support, since this does put a lot of weight out from the outside of the hitch. In the swing-away position, it is going to take up a bit more space than it would in the driving position. From the center of the bumper to the outer portion of the rack right here, it's going to stick out 66 inches. Then from the side of the car, it's going to add about 21 inches to the right. So if you are maybe in a camping spot or even a parking lot where you need access to the back of your vehicle and you need to swing this away, just make sure you've got enough room for it because it will take up more space. We'll pull that pin to bring it back in and then re-secure it with that push pin and the hand knob that we used earlier to undo the swing away arm. And I like that this threads into the swing away arm because it actually makes for a much more stable experience. It kind of acts like an anti-rattle device to make sure that this pivot point remains really strong and solid. And I'll show you as I tighten this down that the whole thing's really solid. I'm shaking it by the basket. Nothing at the pivot point is moving, and because we've got the anti-rattle bolt in the hitch, that's also really solid too. So even though you've got all this stuff and a pretty large form factor, it's still stable. Back in the driving position, it doesn't take up near as much space as you might think. So from the bumper, the outermost point, to the edge of the rack, it's going to only stick out 33 inches, which really isn't too bad when you look at other cargo carriers sticking out from your hitch. It's pretty much on par. It makes up for that in the added height. Now, from the ground, you do have good ground clearance, coming in right about 23.5 inches, so almost 2 feet of ground clearance. Your hitch luckily sits up pretty high off the ground, so I don't think you'll have any clearance issues with this. The one thing I will say about the overall fit on the vehicle is that whether you've got the box up here or the basket loaded up with gear, it pretty much completely blocks that back window, so visibility is going to be very limited. Your lights on the side do remain fully visible though on both sides. Pretty much the box stops right where the lights start, so brake lights, tail lights, that sort of thing are going to be visible when you're driving down the road. Your license plate is mostly visible, but there is a bit of stuff blocking it here, and plus once you have stuff loaded up, it's probably going to not be visible. I'd strongly recommend looking into the license plate attachment that'll hang it up out here so it's visible when you're driving down the road, because even if your state doesn't need that to be visible, other states that you're driving through might, and it's better to be safe than sorry. The big thing to know about the EXO system though is that it's modular. Just push these tabs on the arms, loosen up the hand knobs, and then you can take out this accessory and swap it in with another one. Everything just fully removes and puts back in place and tightens down just like we removed it. So if you want to add a second box to have all of your storage being covered up and locked up, you can. If you want to replace the box up top for a bike rack, you can do that too. You can really customize it to fit your needs for whatever occasion you're going out on. I will say though that again, this kit is just these specific pieces, and any pieces you add on after the fact will be not key to like. So if we were to get the bike rack, we would have to swap out those lock cores to make sure that they match the lock core here on our box, as well as the hand knobs on the arms and our hitch lock, but it can be expanded upon and grow with us. So taking a look at this for the Suburban, I think it's going to be a really great fit. Comparing it to just strictly a hitch mounted cargo basket, it's nice because you still get that, but you also get covered lockable storage up top. And comparing it to a roof box, you still get that covered locking storage, but you also get some that can drain out water and dirt and debris so it doesn't build up inside the box. Plus, it's all right here on the ground, really easy to reach. If I open up this box, it's right here to load up my stuff at a really good height where I can see inside, and I'm not adding all that height to my vehicle either. So for maybe going somewhere where there's going to be parking garages or just your garage at home, you're not having to worry so much about the height that you add. It's going to let you carry a lot of gear in here, and luckily your Suburban is built ready to go for it. All the weight capacity requirements of the EXO system, you're going to have tons of headroom with that factory hitch, and it's going to get your stuff to where you need to go and be able to grow with you as your needs expand. Thanks for watching.